What is your favorite small way to spread positivity?
Complimenting people. A quick, "I like your shirt," or "Your plant on your desk looks so nice," is so easy to do, and it makes people smile.
If I'm approaching a traffic light and see empty lanes, I switch over to the one in the middle, so the cars behind me can turn right on red and are not held up because of me. I hope that makes their day a bit quicker and gives them a feeling that they were able to make that light without stopping.
Reddit Gold, it ain't much but it's honest work at it. 3.
I make sure to tell every retail or customer service worker how much I appreciate them.
Whenever I call some customer service or whatever, I try to remember the name of the person on the other end. When the call is over, I thank them by using their name and say they were very helpful. You can tell that people usually forget their names.
Waving at each car that passes as I walk along my country road. Today I was 9 for 9 on returned waves.
Random acts of pizza.
Be everyone's hype man. If someone tells a story or just shares an experience, I try to always acknowledge them clearly, especially if it seems like few or no one else heard, assuming we're in a group setting. If someone puts on an act for a joke that doesn't catch on, I try and back them up with antics that complement theirs. If someone is casually picked on in that it's all in good fun but it's also kind of true so still possibly hurtful kind of way, and they can't seem to retaliate with wit, I try to follow up with a positive spin or a counterburn if possible. Whenever the opportunity presents itself, I try to acknowledge and encourage other people in subtle ways. I always hated the social spotlight because of poor self-esteem, but I find that the kind of attention I get from this is just wonderful. Also, it has the added benefit of making everyone love you.
Thanking people for small tasks that usually go unnoticed days later. Oh, quick question, did you restock that shelf the other day? Thanks, that really helped. I forgot to tell you, thanks for putting more paper in the copier. Did you rewrite the tasks on the dry erase board? Thanks, I can finally read it. Edit, thank you for my first award. Now my day can start out right.
I'm a pretty positive person in general and I love making dumb puns or jokes. Even at my expense, I feel like it'll get a chuckle.
Small smiles when talking to people.
My parting words to everyone I interact with, usually when getting food, are take care of yourself. That started during the pandemic and it's not going away after it's over.
I like to reply to non-famous people's tweets or TikToks with encouraging messages.
Not wearing a mask or condom.
Complimenting people. Just to remind them that someone appreciates them.
I collect electrons.
Whenever I buy something from a vending machine, I always leave the spare change.
Saying thank you / asking how are you.
I work for a municipal government. I spread positivity by being someone in municipal government that actually is helpful. Don't know how many times I hear, "Wow. Didn't expect it to be that easy."
I try to be a nice person on Reddit, and I make postcards to give to friends and family on special occasions IRL.
Giving non-popular pan users gold. It's amazing to see how their face lights up.
I try to give compliments behind people's backs where they can hear but they think I don't know they are listening. I live around people who have either been hurt by others or have become cynical after watching other people get hurt. Seems to be the easiest way to spread positivity without coming off like I have ulterior motives.
I would always bring sticky notes with small messages to school. They had messages like, "I love your shirt. Pretty hairstyle you chose today. Don't worry, you'll crush that exam, and if you don't think you matter, you at least matter to me," and I stuck them in random places. On the wall, under the desk, behind a door, in a bathroom stall, etc. One day a student came to sit beside me in the cafeteria and looked at my notebook. They started crying and hugged me, stating that they went through depression and loved my notes so much that they've been collecting them. They had 271 sticky notes. A few years later and we are still in contact, smiley face.
Sending cards to people, mostly strangers from random acts of cards, but occasionally friends and family too. I often include stickers or small bags of candy, just for the fun of it.
I give them candy they like before COVID.
Always asking a customer service representative on the phone if they have a survey feedback I can answer to give them all the stars for their help. If they don't, I ask for a supervisor so I can commend the person who helped me.
Pay for the person's drink, meal behind you in a drive-through.
Remember small details about people and ask them about it. How was the new coffee machine you bought? Did that brother-in-law you don't like act annoying this time? IDK if it's any good, but I notice people get a little excited when I do it.
Honestly, I'm kind of a simp, so I try to compliment people I admire, or who might need it as much as I can, if I'm not too nervous lol.
Finding positivity and calm within. When I don't sweat the small stuff I find, I am a far kinder, in touch and gentler person. Honestly, the ability to not get irritated or anxious over meaningless insignificant detail is one of the most empowering skills I've ever developed.
If I find a penny bottoms up, I flip it over for the next person to find it.
Sending virtual hugs to online friends. You know, just sending them hug, yeah, cringe all you like, but it's a way of spreading positivity.
I know people's names. I remember. I try hard to remember them. I write them down. People love it when you know their name, and in turn they usually know your name, some don't. That's life.
I like to make origami cranes and give them to people.
With a butter knife.
In all seriousness, talk to people.
Random acts of kindness. Example, today I bought a ticket for street parking and had about an hour left on the ticket when I left, so I just tapped it to the place where you purchase tickets. Hopefully someone used it.
Upvoting on r/new and sometimes trying to help people in advice subreddits.
Not wear a mask.
I put an extra nugget in people's meals when I worked at McDonald's. Never got any recognition for it, but I don't need recognition anyway because I know for a fact it makes a difference. It's a fact because I got an extra nugget 4 years before at the same place that I worked and decided to pass on the extra nugget positivity.
Unprotected sex.
Complimenting a woman's hair or shoes.
I love handing out buffs and heals as a paladin in World of Warcraft to strangers in passing. I also love helping people out who post in the zone chat I am in looking for help with a rare or a quest. I'm all like me, I got this one, ill help lol. I just want people to have fun, and I know what it's like to post and get no response and no help.
When I, 35 meters, was in high school, I'd offer random high fives to anyone in the halls. The quiet kids would either jump at the opportunity or just stare at me, in that I don't know you way. I didn't notice how much people looked forward to the high five between bells until I was having a down day myself. Just going through the motions when 3 underclassmates lined up to exchange hand slaps. I didn't know everyone by name, but they made sure not to miss the daily high five, and it cheered me up too.
I start every email with good morning/afternoon.
Thanking people for their time. Everyone's time is valuable, and thanking them for giving a little to you goes a long way.
A smile brightens up everyone's day. Except for blind people.
I tell a pun that has to do with something that just happened.
At first I read this as, "What is your favorite small way to spread poverty?" And I was incredibly confused.
This Reddit account. I try to stay active in r/toast me. It's an awesome sub and you should all try it. Hope everyone is keeping that mental health right.
If I see a penny on the ground that is tail side up, I flip it over so that the next person finds a lucky penny.
I try to tell all of my students that I love them. I know it's cheesy, but I never know what some of my students go through at home, and if they hear that enough.
Mind my own boostness. Sometimes that's all it takes.
I like to compliment strangers loudly to somebody else when I know they are still within earshot, like, "Hey, I love that lady's bag." Or, "Check out those awesome shoes." I'm a bit too introverted to tell them to their face, so I'll do it loudly when I think they can hear.
Replying to low traffic posts on r/advice. I would like to think someone would take the time to genuinely help me if I needed it.
With a heated butter knife.
May your day be filled with joy and happiness. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe for more quality content every day.